Alright, today I want to talk to you about some of the weird things I've heard in movies and TV and stuff like that people do, including having sex with their own children, and fathers and mothers, right? And grandmothers and stuff like that too, right? Now, we all know by the Bible there are certain rules and certain guidelines everyone's supposed to do. A soldier is supposed to sleep with his girlfriend or wife before he goes off to war, and that means two becoming one flesh. Now, if you're engaged to a female and you really love her and you really plan on marrying her, that's not why legal marriage is for, alright? What legal marriage is for is to help you in a contract situation between you and your wife in case you do her wrong or something during the marriage, right? A contract is a two-party agreement where you go into it with good faith that you will both not do certain behaviors. You won't cheat on each other. You'll love each other till death do you part, or in sickness and in health. And you also won't abuse each other and things of that nature either. You won't rape. You won't do anything like that either. Now the thing is, when Moses wrote the Torah, it's only 5 books, right? Now that don't mean over the centuries some people couldn't creep in and add shit to it either way. The thing is, you gotta read the whole thing for yourself and see what sounds true or not, right? Now, the weird thing is, Moses did say Dinah was raped, which is one of Jacob's daughter, but it was sort of different type of experience too. The boy raping her actually loved her in a way too. He just couldn't control himself, and maybe it was consensual, maybe it was, we don't know all the details, but because of that, right, Levi and I think Reuben or something like that, or it was 2 of the other sons, they taught the men into circumcising themselves to marry their daughters and vice versa, and killed all the men after they circumcised themselves. That's not good either, Jews. You see what I mean there? Right. The boy wanted to marry the girl, too. And she did not seem bothered by it herself, and maybe she wanted to marry him too, right? This is like the story in the Gnostic Gospels about Peter and his daughter. A Roman soldier in the story fell in love with Peter's daughter, right? And I don't know if it was mutual, but anyway, Peter crippled his own daughter, so she wouldn't marry the soldier. But then he killed her after he left. That's a bad move, Peter. You know what he means. That means Peter was so racist against the soldier, whether his daughter loved him or not, he would sooner harm her than her marry him. That's prejudice, right? From Peter, right? By the way, on the Roman. See, there's a way to really look at a story, even if you don't understand the context of the story, right? There's always many ways to view something, either from a direct point of view or a sarcastic point of view too, right? And the only way to find out what's really going on is to read other stories too, in the book too, right? Now, some stories connect together, right? If it's a continuous flow throughout the book, right? Usually that's what you see in the Bible. That's why some people can say Jesus is the Messiah, but some people can deny it because of different theories about the Messiah, right? That's why the Jews to this day still are Jews, right? Who don't believe in Jesus, and those who do are considered Messianic Jews, right? And yet you still all have the same choice, Christian or Jew, right? Now, Christian is Greek, right? And I don't know what they actually call it in Roman society, right? Or Latin, right? To be anointed, right? But again, whatever your society, if you accept Jesus as your Savior, technically, He's your Savior, right? Now, again, there's a problem in the Bible, right? Some of it is told abstractly, and some of it is told directly. Now, you got to put it all together as a whole, too, right? You got to listen to the whole thing, right? If someone focuses on this scripture or that scripture, it'll confuse you, right? Because they're showing you some of the Bible, but not all the Bible, right? That's what I'm talking about with the religious people, right? Or cults, right? When you do that, you can make it seem like people can go to war till the end of time, right? Right? But if you don't do that, the Bible says there's time for war, but it also says there's time for what? Peace. How long in the last century have we had any peace? You tell me. You tell me. Especially the last century when knowledge is just booming and increasing, right? Including about medical knowledge, hermaphrodites and all that stuff. And also natural science knowledge, right? And some of that nature. We're learning there's earthworms, snails, they're also hermaphrodites, right? Well, we didn't know all that before, right? But now we do. See, knowledge is power, but there's two ways to control it. I know. If you give knowledge freely, you're a good person, but if you try to control the knowledge and deny it or cut it off at a certain point because you don't want to deal with it all, that becomes a power situation and a power struggle to keep the truth out, away from the multitudes, right? There too. Now, when you're faced with two choices, you still have two choices. Even if you say maybe later. You still have to make a definitive choice somewhere further down the road. Yes or no? Yes or no. All maybe means is I'm not decided quite yet. Give me a little bit more time, right? And you can be allowed that time until you yourself meet your maker, right? Well, different things happen to me in the military too, right? That's what I'm talking about there too, right? I didn't go in knowing what I need, nor did I come out the same person needed either. I knew more in different areas than I did in areas too, right? Like as far as an electrician can come, I can do minor work, but I'm not a fully trained electrician either. That would be on King and the guys on the ship, right? First. Because King was electrocuted, and the only thing I could figure out is King blamed me. So I had nothing to do with it. That's all I can tell him repeatedly, right? He was accusing me night after night. After I went to sleep and tried to code red me or something, right? That's hypothetical too, right? You're not supposed to do that to a fellow shipmate either, retard. No matter who it is. And like I said, if I keep waking up fine without no bruise on me, only God can do all that. You understand? Right. Like I said, if your problem with homosexuality, like with men, and all I can do is tell you no every time you ask me. No. There too. Whatever your concern is with me, I can only answer you so long or so much or so in such a way, right? Now, King openly, from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep on the ship, never really said anything that it was my fault he was lecturing to me personally, right? So he seemed to try to work me a little bit. He didn't really act like he wanted to either. He didn't, let me buy and fly for them a little bit, but that's where I buy and you buy and I fly, right? And he sort of wanted me to do it with him too, but I was in a bad money situation, right? And he was a D3 and I was just a E1 when I first got the ship, right? And by the time I got up to E3, I was trying to buy a car, stuff like that. Normal stuff. Anyway. Now, all I know is what I remember, right? Same with anyone I know. I do remember in the division, they did not want to work with me by the time I got off the ship, right? Outside the division, I've seen the flourish, right? But in the division, they're being major dicks to me, right? Don't know why. To this day. But they were not training me to be an electrician. They were wanting me to work alone. And that was my problem with them. I didn't know enough to work alone, right? And if they weren't going to train me, I could just inspect the equipment and, go to the designated ship area because it tells you I knew how to read the ship information, right? And I knew how to read the card, but I didn't know what I was working on, right? There either. And of course, I couldn't do the job unless I knew everything involved, right? And I didn't know how to do any of that either. They didn't show me how to use any manuals or anything like that. They showed me where they were in the motor reline setup, but I still was not shown how to actually use it or stuff like that either. Only thing they showed me was the watch and how to sign a red tag after I got back from the galley. I didn't know any of that before either. Because if they show it to you, King, they only show it to you briefly while you're in school, while they're showing you everything else too. Stupid! Don't mean I would know you were even working on it then. Unless you had to go ahead from your guy in Lieutenant Guzman, you're not supposed to touch the bus until you're told to, right? Am I your go-ahead guy? Are you supposed to touch it as soon as I pop my hand around the bus or not? Yes or no, King? Did you touch the breaker when you saw my face? King? Yes or no? That's all you can answer. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. If you did, it's on you. I'm not your go-ahead guy. I'm the new guy who was being shown some of the routine before I went to galley duty. And told by Lieutenant Guzman not to touch anything, King. Until I got back from galley duty. I don't know if he did you the same way or told you the same thing. Or if he was on the ship when you first got there yourself. I don't know. I don't know. But if he was, did he tell you the same thing? I don't know. I don't remember. Right. Anyone can say that too. Right. But the point is, when you have a disagreement with someone, all you can do is he said, or he said, she said, or he, she said, if you're both. or transgender or something. I don't know. Whatever you are, right? I can't do nothing about that either. But I know this, unless you're a full-up transgender person, I'm not even going to date you consciously. If you still have a penis, it ain't playing with me. It ain't playing with me. You have to cut it all off. And there'd be a hole there, even if it's your asshole. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But or your colons, you make it into a pussy. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. Now, the females who, do the transgender thing too, whatever. I mean, all you're doing is making yourself into a breastless woman, right? With a little dangling thing, whatever it is. I'm sure it's not a full penis either. I don't know why these doctors are even saying they can do all that with you, right? Especially the psychiatrists and the psychologists and all that shit too, right? Yeah, you can do it, I know. But it's sort of mutilating your body in a way too, right? And no one can stop you from doing it. And, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Right? That's all I'm saying. And you have a right to choose that. Sure. And if you're non-violent about it, not Buffalo Bill, I don't care about it either. But you got to be fully transgendered mentally, or like Buffalo Bill, you be denied that too. Right? You can't be a Buffalo Bill about it either. Or you try to kill people too, right? You got to tell the truth yourself. Now, I don't remember Steve's last name, so I guess you married Steve. I don't know who some Marcy is, right? But that would be Steve's last name too. It was something like that, right? When I sort of looked in the mailbox to see who was in there, if it was Steve or not, right? It was Steve. I didn't sell it or anything, I just put it back, but again, now I didn't know where he lived until who showed me Steve. Marybelle. And I only came there once or twice and he had called the cops on me and left, right? That's to show you I'm trying to find out what the fuck's going on with her, right? Not you. her. Who is she lying to, me or you, right? Or both. She having sex with both or what? Well, like I said, that's why I broke up with her. I wasn't sure what else was going on. Can't help that, Marybelle, either. If some Barsky is a different person or Steve still too, right? That still means if you're with him, you are lying to me about having sex with him too, so it's over. Thank you, bye. I don't trust you anymore. Never did. You can't live with another man and tell me you got problems with your boyfriend and shit like that, right? Whether I won or lost, right? I didn't want to win with this, right? I was just wanting you to either be with me or not. So I was trying to tell you in all the letters, maybe it confused you a little bit too, right? But stop it, alright? I'm not obsessed with you. I'm trying to love you. If you don't know the difference, leave me alone. Too. Like I said, if you straighten your way stuff out and I'm not with a virgin or something, sure, you might have to come back to me. That's hypothetical. Not real. You're with someone else now. I accept that. Do you accept it's over? Even if Patrick could be my son, that's all I'm telling you, right? Every time I'm telling you this, there's a reason for it. Are you listening to me or the voices in your own head? There too. Anyone can go crazy for any reason too. And having sex with a paranoid schizophrenic ain't that normal anyway. Right. You gotta think the girl ain't all there herself. I did too. But she was on birth control pills and making it all about sex, and I sort of do that too, but again, she was telling me a story which I was sort of buying, but sort of not too, right? Now maybe she liked being with Steve, or she was with Spo for different reasons, right? I don't know. That's sort of what I felt like, right? She was using me and Steve for her sexual pleasure, while fucking with Bart too, right? Messing with him about cheating on people, right? Means you don't want me or Steve with Bart stuff, right? There too. Whatever's going on, possibly. These are only hypotheses. You can't prove a hypothetical or a theory without all the facts, right? And no one has any facts beyond what I told you either. All you can tell someone is what you remember or don't, right? Like with my ex-wife and my stepdaughter, right? They were sleeping in a separate house, part of the apartment anyway. And then they moved to their own house too, right? Now I had no contact with either one. Not supposed to, right? I was supposed to sleep on the couch if I'm having a fight with my wife, and I don't mess with her. I don't mess with her. Nor her me, right? Unless she invites me back into the room and then puts it on in the other room. That's what I was doing would happen, but it didn't happen, right? That means in the process of all that, I was moving back to base, right? Now because she left me stranded in Tennessee, though, yeah, she left me first, but I fulfilled that and went on. Went back to base too, right? I knew by her leaving me stranded in Tennessee, that was a strong message to leave her crazy ass, right? Like with Mary Bell too, after all that with Steve, right? Now, until I found out about Steve and asked him the same question he was probably wanting to ask me too, and saying to him that he was probably wanting to say it to me too first. I guess we both figured it out. And maybe both work up with our in August or September, right? I don't know. Anything's possible. But like I said, I don't know the details. I don't know if she was having sex with Miles. I don't know if all was going on. Now, he would ask her if she's having sex with Shane, Bart, or Miles. I would ask her if she's having sex with Steve, Bart, or Miles too, right? There would be different perspectives there too, right? Because you don't want someone cheating on you. And she was just screwing us both because of Bart, right? And I think that was what was going on there too. But the winner takes it all, Maribel, whoever that was, me or Steve. If you broke up with you in August and I was with you till September, I might have won. Unless you were with him a week before or a few days before. But the thing is, it looks like it was towards the end of September that you got pregnant anyway. Not the beginning, almost October, right? There's no way to prove that either without what? DNA test. If you don't want one, I'm fine. You're making me afraid for Patrick anyway, if he is not. Sorry. I don't trust you anymore in that shit either, I know. You said you loved him when you thought he was Scott's. Well, what if he was mine? Would you not love him? Would you want to hurt him or abuse him or treat him like shit? Well, that's why I don't care. I can't care if you don't care, right? That's what I was telling you the whole time too. Treat me how you want to be treated, and that's how I'll treat you, right? But if you treat me badly, that's how I'll treat you too, right? If you act like you want to be with Steve and are living with him, but fucking me on the side, I'm just going to think I'm your side cock whether you're engaged with him or not. Or having sex with him or not, right? And then you're just lying to both of us, proving the Bart for some crazy reason. Oh, anyone can see, anyone can do. And shit like that, right? Whatever problem with Bart was, right? Whatever you're doing there, right? But you don't fuck me and Steve the whole time either. and then say you know who got you pregnant. Either way. Doesn't matter. Only way to prove it, unless you didn't want one, is a DNA test. And I assume you got one. I don't know. There's no way for me to know any of that. All I know is you're with someone named Sabarsky, and I'm not even sure if that was Steve's last name or not, right? I know it's something like that. But, again, I didn't focus on all that. We were arguing. I was trying to figure out if we wanted to be with you or not, or move to be with Georgia. Now, it took me 5 months after I moved to Georgia to break up with you, right? And meet Michelle anyway. And I was like, with you or her, I'm looking for a relationship, right? A female that wants to be with me. Not one night, not 17 months and make me cheat on her. Or, like Daphne, leave me straight into Tennessee and get into fights with me all of a sudden when we seem to be doing alright until then. But there's one factor there too, she was wanting to bring her daughter down, right? Not because of me, but because she didn't want to run the mother. Like I said, there was a reason for that too. That had nothing to do with me. Only she knows why she wanted to get her daughter from her mother and treated me the way she did, so I moved back to base. I don't know why. And like I said, I handled the situation as the best I thought I could. Even when she got mad and blocked the door, I did something a normal man wouldn't have done. I picked her up and put her in bed gently, because I knew she was pregnant with my son, so I could leave the mirror. The only thing you can do in that situation. Well, the Shaolin monks could lift 500 pounds, right? Of weight, Well, it's still similar to a Shaolin monk, even when I did that shit, right? And I still can lift 250 pounds up to my knees or more, right? If I do it one time. You don't do it all the time, but if it's an emergency situation and you don't quite know what to do with your wife and she's blocking the way to the door and wanting to get into a fight with you, and she's trying to push your buttons to make you hit her or something, you can tell that too, right? There are always options on the table, including picking her up and putting her in the bed next to you, right? So you can leave. That's what it is. That's what it is. Right or wrong. I didn't hurt her either. She got out of bed fine, right? It just happened real quick. As soon as she knows, she was in the bed, right? One second we're arguing, then I pick her up and put her in bed. And that's while that door, didn't think anything about it. Left the conversation. That's 2 ways to stop an argument, right? Now, she could have freaked out about it again. That's why she left me in Tennessee, too. And then it was over. I know. Those two things, too, right? But after that, it just like she seems like she was trying to get rid of me anyway. Wasn't it you? 2 strikes is enough to let you know someone's not happened to you. That's 2 strikes. You don't need a third. I keep telling you, I know. But anyway, there's some music playing in the background. I don't think it's on MTV. But anyway, y'all have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh.